Hi guys, welcome again. This time I've got a unique strategy for you with the Olympia, and this is one of my favorite kind of games because this is not that I do particularly well maybe in this game, because I do struggle at times in those games and I do maybe make some mistakes. But I think given the circumstances, I think I kinda in the end make the most of it. So stick around and see how this goes. Here I am going as Olympia, and this is one of the things that I think define Olympia here. In 4 players, we are across Halicarnassus, next to Rhodos on the right, which is actually important, and Giza on the left. So I think, like, if I were to make the worst setup that you can have in this game in 4 player, I think this would be it. Generally, this is, I think, the worst wonder setup possible that you can have. So, of course, I welcome the challenge and I just decided to play it. Normally, I would probably advise you to pick Olympia A, but this is one of the circumstances where I think that you have to know something about playing Olympia Night, because in this setup, Olympia Night, I think, has more chances. What are we trying to do strategically here? I think I'm repeating myself over and over again, but we are trying to prevent Halicarnassus from playing all green. We are probably trying to not look scary to other people here. We are trying maybe to splash green, maybe to get just, get some good picks all over in the third age and disrupt my opponent's crucial cards while doing that. How will this go? Let's find out. So first hand, I already selected my pick, but that's okay. Timberyard. Normally duels are really great. One of the disadvantages of Olympia Night is that Timberyard actually is pretty bad for us. Like, it's still better than the regular brown card, but it's not very exciting, to be honest. We have no use of stone almost, but maybe we'll try to make use of stone. And the wood is not something that we are particularly interested in. So that's not the greatest duel out of the gate. East Trading Post might look like a pick here, but it's a little risky. I've seen a lot of Rhodoses playing pretty pretty carefully here with their resources, maybe also going for some yellow strategies, but I wouldn't mind East Trading Post here. Claypool might be okayish, but I wouldn't go for it probably either. Pawn Shop and Theater are interesting, but from the get-go they are already committing us into a certain strategy, but yeah, I wouldn't mind them either. Probably Pawn Shop over Theater. So this is actually the worst. Like, this is literally the worst. Again, we've got the worst duel. I'm going to complain a little bit, but I'm just going to explain why. He got the clay pit, which is okay for him, but it also lets him play a lot in red. For example, if he gets, if we switch the duels, we can try to win red cheaply versus Giza. But after that pickup, it's looking less likely. Rhodos actually got a duel with a stone, so that's also important. It's not hard for him to get it, but he still got it. And it's actually the most easy one that lets him also play red in the first age. So, and on top of that, this is the most important, Halicarnassus got the Papyrus. I'm just going to highlight it here. So this is literally the worst. Like, again, if I was to make the worst pick possible for our position, that would probably be close to it, or this exact picks. Also, we do not see battle, so we cannot steal the grace totally from Halicarnassus. So what are we doing in this position? Generally, we cry. That's the first step, but the next step is trying to deal with those emotions. So let's analyze cards one by one, and that's because these are the options that we can have, and let's also think a little bit strategically. So marketplace looks like crap because my opponents are not likely to play gray resources at the moment. Loom doesn't look particularly great either. What are we trying to do with the loom here? Stone pit. And that might be something because maybe my opponents will buy stone from me for like high price, but probably not because this is 4-player and they have double stones themselves. Lumberyard, maybe we can try to position for a lot of red in the second round, but that sounds like a recipe for at best third place because if we play a lot of red, we neglect Halicarnassus across. We are probably losing to it, no matter what. We are probably losing to one of our neighbors because by stealing a lot of red, one of them will most likely Giza will have easy wins on red versus Halicarnassus, and he'll just collect a lot of points. So that's not something I'm particularly interested. What's left here? Buffs. You might notice that I skipped over it. Mm, we've seen a hand that when it gets back to us, we maybe get a blue out of it. So here my plan is to just go all out, blue, just grab some points along the way, be very scarce with my resource play and try to achieve third place like that, or maybe higher. And the battle is here as well. So, we are totally out of gray resources. Um, Again, this is looking like a terrible game. This hand doesn't look great either. I think both Orvain and West Trading Post are okayish here. The reason why I pick Orvain from this hand is that I wanted to have easier access to some of the reds, perhaps if Giza doesn't play them in the second round. But Giza does play a red. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't he? So here we actually get a good pick out of this hand, and it's the altar. I'm very, very against playing a guard tower here because most likely what happens is I play guard tower, Rodos plays guard tower, so guard tower is giving me 1 point, and I do have okay resources for going into red in round 2. I can do that. This is a path that you can take actually, but I think it doesn't lead to a good effort. Like what will happen is that we will fight for those reds, most likely, and we are eventually going to be left behind. But I think what you can actually try to do is maybe do like a red and then one more red just to win over Giza. But at the same time, maybe you can just do that with not playing guard tower on this hand. So I would strongly advise altar here. We are pacifist Olympia, for now at least. So this is the first good sign here. We are actually two of the trading posts are pointed to us. And another good sign, so maybe our luck is turning. We got blue and we actually get a pick. So we are picking pawn shop here. The reason for that is that we want statue for free, while gardens is going to be most likely for us free anyway. So that's why. And here is the last pick. And here I struggle a little bit. In the game, I played Lumberyard. My thought process was that one of the reasons how one of the ways that the game can be saved for me is to get Caravanserai. Then we kind of have like we are free on the browns. We get some money along the way. Maybe we can maybe they will play some gray. Maybe we can buy some stuff. We probably just hide some green and just try to maybe outlast Halicarnassus here. I would say that's I'm not a great plan probably. Like that was my as I said, I make mistakes in this game as well. Um the thing that I think maybe I should have played here is actually the first stage. because I can build I can build caravanserai, I can build other stuff. The risky part about that is, what do we do if Giza doesn't build a stage? What generally, what do we do if they do not pay us for like, do not give us any money early? How are we planning to make any progress in the second round? Uh, but I think it's maybe like, maybe we're too scared at that point. I think that I should have played probably the first stage here. So we are getting squeezed on red, and here is a hand that doesn't offer anything, to be honest. What I decided to do here is I decided, as both of my opponents rely heavily on stone, I decided to play the quarry. Just hide it, sorry, not play it, hide it. That's what I meant. If I had built the first stage, I would probably be able to grab the temple here. That would have been okay-ish, I would say. Um, yeah, but other than that, I think hiding quarry in this particular instance is the play. As you can see, Halicarnassus has constructed all three stages, and I'm looking like the worst guy at the table. That's going for me. So here my opponents, I think this is, pretty sure this is an arena game in Elite. So my opponents are likely to see that, that nobody values Olympia that highly. Here you can see that I get nothing going. Like, I get some points right now, but my situation is kind of dire. So they are not likely to target me. They are probably going to target the green player. So that's going for me. So this is not bad. Giza with Caravanserai would have been more scary. Here I can play Vineyard, and I probably should have played Vineyard here. That's the mistake. That's another mistake I'm making. Here I decided to go for the cool play. I decided to throw Quarry, so Giza has trouble. But I think it doesn't give him that much trouble, honestly. I was kinda baited into it by him playing the press. And he played it for his last stage. But I think I overcomplicated a little bit for me here. So I think that Vineyard here would probably have been smarter. And also by getting rid of Quarry, like if the Quarry was left on that hand, he might have picked a red card. So like, and sorry, he might have not picked the red card, but as I the hand that I passed to him, he's most likely to play a red card from that one. That's what I was thinking. So that led me to my another choice here. I'll just play the Aqueduct. He plays a red card. He can hide School and not worry about passing archery range. That was my plan, but let's see how it goes. Of course, he doesn't play the red card, but I couldn't have known that, so I think I couldn't have played archery range here. That would be a mistake. Like, I would capitalize on that mistake, but it would have been a mistake nonetheless. Here is an interesting hand, and again, he's likely to play a red card from that hand. So I cannot play walls here again. I think this would have been an even bigger mistake. Brickyard is just not good enough, so that leaves me with a statue. Brickyard might have been a consideration if I had access to cloth at this point, but I don't. It's most likely coming to me, but I cannot be sure. And if I'm playing both Brickyard and Cloth, I think I'm just playing too much resources and not enough point cards. And the reason that, if you have at least 4 brown cards, you have to consider Haven. I will have that on the screen, of course. Here again, Temple is coming back to me, but no access to battle. I cannot play it. So that leaves me with just hiding the Temple. I'm not that scared about not having access to either a loom or um, not neither cloth or brick. Sorry, battle, because I'll just buy it off the Olympia powers if I have to. But fortunately, they build it for me. So training grounds goes all the way, but I think I still cannot play it. I'll rather leave it for the discard. Maybe Halicarnassus will take the bait. I will just play the Vineyard, and as it turns out, they've built more brown cards, so Vineyard is better now. So this time my mistakes worked for me here, but I still think that I should have played Vineyard earlier, and that this game would have been better for me if I did that. But that's the way. Sometimes you just make too many cool plays. And as you can see, let's look at the points at the start of third age. So start of the third age, I'm firmly losing to Rhodos, like firmly. If the game was to end right now, he has 12 points plus over me, so he's at 32. I'm at 23. So I had 9 points to make it to him, and he has a better stage still to build. So that's like travesty. Looking at Giza, the situation is not much better. He has a better stage, has better resources, and has much more points. Looking across to Halicarnassus, that's that's the only one that we have some kind of an advantage right now. We have 23 points. That's quite a lot. Of course, we are not playing anything in red, so that's kind of bad. But 23 points in this kind of strategy looks pretty nice right now. But of course, Halicarnassus has much better resources than us. It has something going in the red, and it has access to excellent scoring cards in the greens. But let's see how it goes. First hand, I was very happy. We got Pantheon. It's free for us for two reasons: the first stage, and because we have Altar. So I'll just grab it. Thank you very much. You can maybe think for a second about maybe it can wheel, but I don't think it can wheel, so we just have to grab it. And just after one pick, Hali is um, lowering the distance between us, so that's not great. This hand, on the other hand, is kinda garbage for us, but the best one that we can play here is the Town Hall. The reason why I'm not playing Arena is because there are two arenas, and I'm not sure if I'm building the last stage, to be honest. Here, I already selected, but this one is pretty easy actually. I don't think Yellow Guild can get to 8 points, and it's just too risky. So we are just taking the pass. Very happy about it. I'm not sure why he didn't play the palace, but I think he thought that this will be better. But in the end, it won't be. So I think that was a small mistake by him. And this is where it starts to really turn around. They both played a red card. Um, by not playing any red cards, we put Halicarnassus in a position when his best cards to play was a red card, and suddenly, he's threatening. I think this is the mistake that he makes. Like, he shouldn't play a red card. He should just threaten it. So this guy, has to play it one, or just has to accept that he's losing red. So this starts to turn around, and here we can see one of the problems with Rhodos. This is what I called like unfocused Rhodos. He's not really sure where his resources are. He doesn't have a gray or brown combo. He has kind of soft yellow combo, but it's like good, but at the same time not good. Like, he will spend a lot of money. So suddenly the guilds start, and like the yellow cards that point for sets of economy cards are starting to be bad for him. So this is where we kind of make up ground to Rhodos. Of course, we are also taking all the necessary good cards from his hand, so he's left with kind of, mediocre picks. Here we are taking Craftsman Guild because there are two gardens in the pool, so we are likely wheeling another one. Here this is very awkward because we are playing Haven, but the good thing is that he's scared about Halicarnassus playing red, so he's likely to even play Circus here instead of the Lighthouse maybe. And he played a red already, but there is another red push from for Halicarnassus. The problem for Halicarnassus here is that the red are actually very tempting because he's winning both, and if I was him, I would also not treat the Olympia very seriously either. So he's thinking that he's stealing reds from like points from his real opponents, but because of all these conundrums, we are actually his real opponent. And let's just play the gardens from this hand and see what happens. And he's finishing with a strong one, I think. 6 point is decent. But in the end, it goes like this. We are the first one is Giza. He won with us on the tiebreaker. If we had 2 points, 2 gold more, or he had 2 gold less, we would have won. So that's great. I couldn't have hoped for a better score in this particular situation. Like if someone at the start of this game told me, "Okay, you can get second place and get out of it," I was like, "Okay, how much do I pay for that service?" Here, this third one goes to Rhodos. Like, see how he fell during all that. But let's just analyze it briefly. He played 2 red cards. I think he should have played like either you play one to win or don't play any. So that I think that's one of his biggest mistakes in this one. He had like traders pretty bad. Ship owners pretty bad. Like he paid for those cards, and they didn't give him anything that great. The best one he has is Senate, and he had still pay one for that. And here we have Ali. He played 2 reds for 1 win, also not great. He played 2 for 1 win again, and he got this one is good, this one is good, and this one is good. So and this one is also good, but he was a little bit behind surprisingly at the second round just because he got free resource like whole set in the first age, and he was targeted on green a little bit in the second age. I think this was a cool game. Blue Night Olympia Night Blue. I think that's a color name. So hope you guys enjoyed it and see you later.